Hey everyone, welcome to a two-part special Google Next edition of Workspace Recap, your number one source for everything Workspace by the tabGeeks Network. My name is Jesse Nolan, my co-host is Steve Larson, and we're here to help you keep up. Today, we will be talking about the officially announced updates leading up to Wednesday, day 2 at Google Next, and on this coming Friday, we will release a follow-up episode covering all of the future-looking features that were announced but are not quite being released just yet, or even for a little while, well into 2023. We don't have an exact timeline on all of them, but we'll do our best to give you what we've got. Also, special thanks to our friends at Jamf for sponsoring this episode and helping us bring you ongoing coverage of Google Workspace. Hey, Steve. Looks like you didn't make it to Sunnyvale, but I do think I saw you attended the Chicago event.
I did, and I got my lovely next, on the road water
swag.
bottle. So
swag.
Yes.
I was obviously offline for the last couple of days and couldn't attend anything in person, so I am tremendously jealous. How was it?
Not as good as it could have been.
Ooh,
not the one that I was at. Not the one. I think a lot of the other ones that I saw photos from and people attending elsewhere, it was a lot better. I think I don't know what happened. There was kind of an agenda of things that was supposed to happen. It didn't seem like they did. It was basically the keynote, and that was all that was shown.
It was a watch party.
Yeah, exactly. And it seemed like there was going to be more stuff happening, that they were going to, it seemed like the agenda said there were going to be other breakout sessions happening, which I thought they were going to be from the next shows, streams. Thought we were going to have some people maybe doing some local in-person presentations. Didn't happen. But I was seeing that happening in other cities. So I think I just got unlucky in Chicago here.
Could be. I mean, there was so much content to be consumed just from Next alone. I was a little, I don't want to say confused, but curious as to why they were deciding. I mean, obviously, if you're going to have a provider or a partner host one of these things, they're going to want to bring in sponsors who are going to want to talk. So I guess that's where that probably came in to help, spread the word about their brands and so on.
Well, I think that's what was happening in most other places, and for whatever reason, the Chicago partner here and what they planned didn't align the same way with maybe what I was expecting or seeing happen elsewhere. But there was still about, I would say, maybe 30, 40 people there.
Nice.
I think also Chicago isn't the biggest city for customers on Google Workspace. I remember when I was moving back to Chicago and looking for roles within IT, very few companies talk about Google Workspace. Everyone talks about Exchange here for the most part, from a job listing perspective. So I think there's a lot more companies that are, not on Google here in this Chicago area. But still, Chicago has a big presence for Google. There's a lot of partners that are based here actually. So I don't know.
Google's building that huge new office.
Right. There's definitely a lot of stuff happening with Google around here. So I just don't know where the disconnect is with customers, because I've always noticed that on the customer event side, it's always a little sparse around Chicago here. So
interesting.
I don't know. I think it's, you know what I also think it is too, because I hear this a lot with these local IT these IT meetups that I'm helping host as well with companies like Jump Cloud, for example. They're doing some stuff here. There's a lot of people that live out in the suburbs. And they don't want to commute into the city to go to meetups and events that are happening in the afternoons and the evenings. And, a lot of the people that are living in the suburbs that work in the city want to get out of the city once their day's done. So I think there's that different dynamic here with Chicago that I didn't see, of course, in London. London tech meetups they were packed every single time, overflowing capacity every single time in London.
Yeah, I'm sure San Diego and different cities are that way as well. When I go to things in LA, they are certainly packed, but everyone is always shocked. They're like, "You came from Long Beach? That's like an hour away with medium traffic, not even bad traffic." Right. I'm like, "Yes, but I can't get anything else." So it's nice that Google has an office in Irvine, which is only half an hour away, and they do some events there. So hopefully they'll do more of those.
And I'm sure there's a lot of parking probably available when you're going to your places, but Chicago, it's $15, $20 to park if you can't find a spot.
Oh, it's the same in LA, but in Irvine they have basically at the Spruce Goose hangar of the last event that I went to, they basically have just another massive open lot that's fenced off that they own, basically the size of the hangar lot that the building is on. It's essentially the same size, and so that's just all parking. So there's no problem with parking, but in LA, yeah, it's brutal. You gotta park and Uber or something.
Right. Right.
Depends on the event.
So yeah. So
All
next wise,
it's interesting that they dumped a bunch of releases on the release blog for right now. I don't think they really did that last year. So
so what you mean? Did they do some more today? I have only seen up until yesterday.
Well, no, it's just that we've got these 7 updates here that all kind of rolled out together that were part of the Google Next announcements. Right. And if I remember correctly, I don't think last year that they had pretty much really anything that was almost slated for immediate rollout. Do you remember?
I don't know. I'd have to look back. I mean, we do have our release dates here. I do have the RSS feed that tells us everything. I'll have to check.
I could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, what are the topics that we have here that they announced for almost imminent?
Right. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about how we're going to structure this, because we kind of alluded to that in the intro there. So what we want to talk about this week, or on this episode right now, which we're recording Wednesday in the middle of the day, kind of middle 2:30 for me here Central Time, is the few little updates that we had last week, which were none other than the ones in the recap post, or 3 small ones there. Then we're going to talk about all the
silent releases.
The silent, correct. The silent ones. Yes, exactly. And then we have the 7 thus far that have come out this week, all rolled out yesterday and announced during Next. So we'll talk about those. And then we have a little bit of other updates. Drive for Desktop. We've got a little news article here about some big workspace news with Google and some big names. We'll talk a little bit about that. So that's going to be today. I will kind of run through those specific headlines here in a second, but I want to give you guys an overview of what the structure is going to be like, including the next one. So what we'll do later this week, so on Friday, we'll record again. We're going to, as Jesse said, go in depth to the next, summarize Next in depth. So that we'll talk about, and that'll talk about everything other than these updates that have come out already this week. Maybe we'll see a few more. We might see a few more pop up, and
that's what we're thinking. I've already seen today there was a couple of sessions on it, which was last year. It was all in one day, so one and done. So more power to them.
So we'll have another good episode coming out later this week. And I think we're thinking record it Friday and release Friday, right? I think that's kind of the
probably
thought
Friday,
process there.
Just before jumping in the weekend, give you a nice long episode to watch. Put your feet up and watch over the weekend. So
so that kind of means next week is going to be pretty quiet, because we should have
probably.
Yeah, we may not have an episode going out next week on Tuesday like we usually do, because we want to get the next news out to you as quick as we can here.
I feel like you and I should just do a check-in episode, because we have not missed a week since we started this a year and a half ago, or almost 2 years ago. So we need to have an episode in there to continue the.
I mean, I get that's why we're doing 2 though this week. We've got kind of 2, so it's like one this week, one next week. It's I don't know. Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how next week goes.
We'll just do a schmoozing midweek episode.
or just like a Google News episode or something like that. Some stuff we see, or I don't know. We'll think of something. If we want to do that. Okay, so let's get through those topics here real quick, rattle those off, and then we'll dive in. So in those silent releases that came out last week, improved experience for the calendar guest list in Google Meet. Gmail now supports Android 13 notification permissions. So you can easily drop content into slides from other apps on Android. And then in terms of the published releases that we saw this week, announced during Next, you can transcribe speech during Google Meet calls into a Google Doc. There's in-room meeting participants can now join breakout rooms. With Google Voice, you can now use SIP link-to-link phone numbers from local carriers. You can preview and interact with files using Smart Chips in Google Sheets. And then Smart Chips again here is you can start expanding Smart Chips to include events in Google Sheets. And 2 more here to go. You can join or start a meeting directly from Jamboard on the web to kickstart collaboration. Now, interesting one there. I brought one of the Jamboards in that I got from Google, and we've been using it a lot at 1871. We were doing like our annual planning event where teams were kind of working on what our event schedule looks like for the year, and they were leveraging the Jamboard there, and it's been a pretty well received device. I
Nice.
didn't think everyone was going to be using it as much as they did, but it is now sitting in one of our meeting rooms, and it gets often used. I mean, often from more than I thought it would get used from that perspective. So it's pretty good. And then finally, data loss prevention for Google Chat is now generally available. So those are the updates. We also saw a new version of the Drive for desktop client get announced, version 65. Details on that one, just not too much other than improved accessibility. There's improved error handling during the app installation and setup, some additional bug fixes and performance improvements, but most importantly, what you need to be aware of for those out there still running macOS 10.13, which is that High Sierra? Is that what that is, or what is 10.13? Let me see here. It is High Sierra. Look at that.
Nicely done.
Yes. High Sierra. So it will not be supported after October 2022, which is the end of this month. So for those of you still stuck on High Sierra, it might be time to upgrade your machine.
A Halloween drop dead date.
Yes. So continue using it, upgrade before Halloween, please. And then finally, in the news, we saw that the U.S. Army is choosing Google Workspace to deliver cutting-edge collaboration. So, big announcement there. Roughly 250,000 people on Google Workspace that they're rolling that out to, using a Google partner, SADA, I believe I saw in that article. So that's pretty big news. Yeah,
they get the big ones.
It was pretty much, that's pretty much the only one that does Workspace at that scale these days. Because I know Do IT, they're pretty focused on GCP, not really much on the Workspace side. And I guess maybe it could have been, does Accenture still do Workspace consulting? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I don't remember. Also, special thanks again to Jamf for sponsoring this episode.
Oh, yes.
If your organization supports Apple devices at scale, you should know employee onboarding doesn't have to be difficult. Jamf helps new employees become productive quickly on their work-provided or BYOD-eligible Apple devices. Jamf offers the most complete and elegant solution to scale Apple devices and Google Workspace together. Over 67,000 customers use Jamf to manage and secure over 28 million devices. Wow. To learn more about why Google-focused organizations choose Jamf, seriously, visit jamf.com/workspace recap and start your free trial today. That's JAMF as in Frank.com/workspace recap.
Look at that. All right. We've got a custom URL. Nice.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. Okay, so dive into the details of those updates on those first 3 silent releases from last week. That improved experience for Calendar, Guest List, and Google Meet.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I really, I don't know. I'm very disappointed though. Although the Jamboard is getting a little bit of love there in our org, Google Meet is not. It's like everyone wants a Zoom account, and there's just so much more functionality and features when you integrate with Meet and Google. And anyways.
Yep.
I just try not to join any Zoom meetings unless I have to. Be like, it doesn't work. I can't join. Sorry. Developer participants run effective hybrid meetings. So in addition to seeing the RSVP status of everyone in the meeting invite, you will now see all information on the Google Calendar guest list, including working location, out of office status, if the meeting is outside of an invitee's working hours, and if an invitee is joining from the meeting room. So very useful information to understand, where that user is going to be joining from, what they're going to be, where they're going to be at, how they're connecting in. And this is available to, let's see, I'm trying to read through this long list here. I think it says everything, doesn't it? Enterprise Standard Plus, Business Starter, Standard, Business Plus, yeah, Education Fundamentals, Standard, yeah. It's pretty much looks like it is available to everyone, even nonprofit customers and the legacy ones. So everybody's getting that one. Good to see that. Next, we have the we see that Gmail now supports Android 13 notification permissions. So on setting that up and opening up Gmail, you'll be asked if you want to allow notifications from the app. And of course, the recommendation is to allow notifications.
Of course.
And stay updated on that. I know some people that just do not like the notifications. Turn them off. I've actually been using that feature a lot. Not the disabling notifications, but actually putting my phone in do not disturb mode almost all the time. And only checking it when I want to check it. And it's been kind of nice. I do kind of enjoy it.
No wonder I can't get a hold of you anymore. I'm just
get
kidding.
a hold of me, don't worry. You've always, I don't know. I'm always on the computer. I'm not disabling those notifications. So there's always stuff popping up there. It's just that duplication of updates on the phone.
Yeah, the only time I'll do that is if I need some serious focus time to go deep on a task I'm doing or a project I'm working on. Other than that, I like having my phone, and I've said this before on the show, sitting on a stand charger in front of me, because that's my command center. My alerts come in, I know, oh shit, there's something more important that I have to deal with right now, and jump to that. And I can see that from here, whether it's coming across on Twitter or my my baby cams or Slack or phone, text, whatever. It's all just right here, and that's what I use for that. I actually minimize the amount of notifications I get on the screens because I have that right here. And maybe that's if I had switched to using more on-screen notifications, then perhaps I would turn the phone off more often. However, when I find that a notification pops up on the screen, it's actually more distracting for me because it also has the sound notification. And I have a lot of those turned off because then I can just, have my music on and continue what I'm doing and just glance. And
you don't have the sound notification on your phone? You just have the visual notification?
No, my phone is on vibrate, and I wear headphones pretty much all day. My phone's always on vibrate. I'm one of those people. Okay. Never makes noise. Just vibrates. Okay. And I have the Apple Watch, which I don't usually wear all day.
Oh, speaking of watches.
Pixel Watch?
Pixel 7 Pro, and the watch. Tablet, all the stuff came out last week.
Yep.
I guess technically it would be in this episode's coverage because it came out last week.
Should have been in the news in the bottom section.
Yes. So, well, just throwing it out there. A lot new Google Pixel hardware on its way to your to users, and the tablet is the one that I am
with the dock, as predicted from the imagery at I/O.
Yep. So that one.
They killed the Chromebook, but they didn't kill the tablet.
No, right. It's almost like, is it replacing it? Is it just saying, hey, we're gonna, I don't know.
No, they partnered with they partnered with Matter, not Matter. Sorry, that's the smart home standard. No, with Framework for the modular repairable laptop instead.
Did they?
Well, you saw they worked together on it.
Part.
It wasn't like an officially announced partnership, but it says in the press release that they worked together with Google and Intel on developing and optimizing, et cetera, et cetera.
Interesting.
But I don't think that's a proper replacement for the Pixelbook. I think that it's just another very good option, because when you can buy the all the other good options that are out there, like we said in the previous episodes, their job there is done. That doesn't mean I'm not still sour about it.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you mentioned the Framework stuff, and Google had their first ever sustainability summit also happening today, I believe, in Germany somewhere.
Why would they overlap that? I guess
because they're not doing stuff in person. Other than that, the sustainability summit was in person.
Okay, so do it next week. Don't do it during next.
I don't know, but because you can watch pretty much everything on demand, right? So it's like, well, complement it with some in-person stuff, but not the next event, I guess. I don't know. That's what happened. That was happening, and there's a lot of talk from Google on sustainability, and I don't know if that I don't think that part of like repairability was covered too much during their talks. And
seems like a great time.
Yeah,
It could have.
I think if Framework is helping them with that. I mean, that's the whole idea with Framework, that they're making it modular, easier to upgrade, and hopefully easier to use long term. Fix and repair yourself. So we'll see how that evolves into the Google products and the hardware. All right, let's get to the updates here. Yes. Next, we have easily drop content into slides from other apps on Android. So dragging and dropping stuff around, moving it up and down, all around. I was trying to think of a song there. There's like an old song, up and down, moving around. There's like a dancing. I don't know, what is it called? Do you know the song I'm thinking of? Nope. It's a very well-known song. I don't know.
Anybody in the audience have any ideas?
No, I'm drawing a blank. Anyways, it's like a Lou Bega. Is that his song? I think that's it. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Mambo Number 5, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's not the one. I don't know. Maybe it's something else. I'll figure it out and tell you.
Because I know Mambo Number 5.
Yeah, maybe it's something else I'm thinking of. Anyways, dropping stuff
Jump up and down and move it all around.
Yeah.
Is that what you were trying to say?
I think
Shake
so.
your head to the sound.
I think so.
That is Mambo Number 5.
Right? Okay, it is. See? All right,
But that's not the part
Horrible-
that generally people know
horrible
from Mambo
music.
Number 5.
That's what I remembered from this article. I don't know.
Yeah. A little
That's
bit of
what I thought
Monica, a little bit of Erica.
Right. I guess. Yeah. So with that ability, you can, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Dragging stuff into slides and making it a little bit easier to work across applications. So that's what we've got from last week. And then moving into this week's 7 updates. I feel like I got these in a little bit mixed up order here because my transcribe update is not first. Let's get to that.
It's not?
Well, just in my tab orders, that's why. It was just...
I was confused.
Yeah, my tabs were backwards. It was like I had the 4, 3, 2, 1 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we've got transcribed speech during Google Meet calls into a Google Doc. The announcement, this one came, of course, during Next, and the transcriptions can from Google Video Meetings go into Google Docs. Isn't this been happening for a while? Oh, I know why. Yeah, I've had it for like 2 months now. I didn't realize that this had not been announced or released to everyone.
Got to keep straight which ones are alpha features or beta features.
I mean, I've just been on so many meetings. It's like, recording started, transcription started. I'm like, this has been out for a long time. So this is now generally available. So if you are wondering, how to get access to those features early, reach out to us. We will help you find out how to get Alpha Bundle access. And with this, you get essentially a text version of what was said by everyone during the meeting. From what I remember seeing, I don't refer back to them too often, but I know when we first had access to it, we were playing around with it and looking at the results, and it was pretty good. I think, as long as you don't have a lot of overlapping, just like people talking over each other type of a thing, it does a pretty good job. And of course it knows, who's doing that speaking, and tags that as to who said that. It does help a lot if you are searching for information, that was said during those meetings. So that really allows you to, find something that was discussed and then maybe refer back to it in the video if you're doing both.
Love it.
Yeah. And I was about to go on to the next one, but I forgot I have to cover all the good stuff. All the good stuff here, yes. Rollout pace and details. So let's see. There's some differences here for admins about how this is going to work. So for Workspace admins on normal, non-education environments, looks like this feature will be on by default. However, for Workspace education users with a teacher license, transcripts are on over there by default, but for those with a student license, transcripts are off by default. End users, just be aware, if host management is off, in-domain participants can use transcripts, and if host management is on, only meeting hosts and co-hosts can turn transcripts on. Rollout for this one, we're looking at an extended rollout, potentially longer than 15 days for visibility for both rapid release and scheduled release domains, and this will start October 17th. And availability on this one is a little bit limited. It is only going to be available to Business Standard, Business Plus, Enterprise Starter, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Plus, and Teaching and Learning Upgrade customers. That's an interesting one. When did we first see this?
Hold on. You said extended rollout starting on the 17th.
October 17th in 5 days, correct.
Mine says the 24th.
Really?
Refresh your page.
Oh, it says the 24th now, yes.
Look at that.
They changed it. Okay, interesting. I loaded up the page yesterday when the announcement came.
There you go. Somebody had an oh shit moment. That's not quite ready. Quick.
Yep.
Give it an extra week.
Okay, good that you caught that. Nice. What did we determine Enterprise Starter is?
Oh, shoot.
Did we figure that one out yet?
Trying to remember. Where's the sheet?
The comparison sheet?
Yeah. There's Business Starter. Enterprise Editions. Yeah, they don't list this stuff online. It's so annoying.
Yeah, there is a SKU ID. It's in the API. It does exist.
Right.
But I don't know what is Enterprise Starter. It's a good question.
We need to make a note to follow up on that.
Yeah.
Try to pull up the sheet in front of me. I actually don't know what I did with it. All right, we'll look it up and we'll get back to it.
Yeah, it is. I can see it here. The pricing is $10 a user per month. And
right.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I got to find out what that is. Might ask around. Enterprise Starter. Okay. So Google Workspace Enterprise Starter. Customers limited to access and use services described in the following restrictions. Drive storage is limited to 1 terabytes per end user. Access to Cloud Data services limited to the services and features included in the Cloud Data Free Edition. Customer may not use or access the following services or features: Vault, DLP, Connected Sheets, BigQuery, admin logs, and
Sounds like essentials.
TSS is limited to Workspace standard support. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Do you think it's essentials or frontline?
No, it's
not frontline.
It's not essentials. It's not frontline. No. Which I'm gonna.
You making a note to look it up?
I am. I'm
actually
I'm asking someone right now, and we'll see.
All right. Well, we don't have to answer it now.
I know.
We just have dead air. So let's move on. I'll see if I can find out while you're schmoozing.
Let me jump back into my updates here, and we'll continue on with that.
Oh, Christian actually was saying one can subscribe to Business Starter or Standard. No, that's not related to this add-on. That's talking about CI Premium.
Yeah.
never mind.
There was something you messaged me about that today too with the calendar stuff.
Yeah, that's not this though. All right,
moving on. Let's jump into the next one. In-room meeting participants can now join breakout rooms. So when using Google Meet hardware devices, meeting hosts can now assign conference rooms to breakout rooms. So this will extend breakout room functionality to all meeting participants, whether they're joining remotely or in the office, to ensure that everyone can engage in a collaborative working session. Not too much to go into on that one. It is what it is there. That's it. Looking at rollout on this one. This one is going to be going to rapid release and scheduled release domains on a full rollout, 1 to 3 days for feature visibility, starting on the 24th of October. And let me reload my page here just to make sure it's still the 24th.
Yep, yes, confirmed.
It is. It is available to pretty much everyone here looking at this list. Business Standard, Business Plus. Not Business Starter, though. Workspace Essentials, Enterprise Starter, Enterprise Essentials, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Plus, Teaching and Learning Upgrade, Frontline, and Nonprofit customers. It does say note that all meeting participants can participate in breakout rooms. And then next, with Google Voice, as I said, you can now start using SIP link to link phone numbers from local carriers. So for those of you looking to kind of connect some SIP protocol trunks into this, some additional functionality here on Voice. So, and this is only going to apply to Voice Standard and Premium customers. You can now connect SIP trunks with Voice, and it's going to allows PSTN services from local carriers to be used for Google Voice through a secure set of certified session border controls, such as audio codecs, Cisco, Oracle, and Ribbon. SipLink, of course, makes it easier for customers here to leverage the power of Google Voice. And this one is going to be coming out in a few more weeks. Not quite available, but it will be available for new and existing Voice customers in supported countries. So keep an eye on that. Make sure you are in a supported country. There's a good list of them. I think there's the major markets across the U.S. and Europe, or North America and Europe. It'll be available in. And then, let's see, what else? Rollout pace, here's the dates. There it is. Rollout on this one is going to be expected to start on the 17th of October on an extended rollout, potentially longer than 50 days for visibility for both rapid release and scheduled release domains, and available, as I said, to Voice Standard and Premium users. Next is one of two updates related to smart chips. This one being the ability to preview and interact with files using smart chips in Google Sheets. Last year, there was the initial announcement to have the ability to insert smart chips for files and meetings in Google Docs. And as an extension of that smart canvas that was announced many, many years ago, it seems now, you can now add Google Drive files directly into a Google Sheet as a smart chip. I think sometimes these work well, sometimes they don't. Have you been using these much? Do you like them? Sometimes,
not a whole lot. A little bit here and there.
Not using them a whole lot? You don't like them a whole lot?
I don't use them a whole lot because I didn't really find so much value in them. I do like the additional information that comes when tagging people in them. Yeah. That you can hover over and see more information on that. But I think for what I've seen just in the announcements, or even the keynote from Next for Google Workspace, it looks like this is going to be a major initiative going forward to help tie in all the different things, because previously kind of had each app doing things independently, and smart chips are kind of the bridge between all of them.
Yeah.
So a lot more development, it appears to be coming.
Yeah. Who was I listening? I was listening to someone recently talk about the smart chips and the features, and there was something I learned in this video that I saw about this is going back to docs and smart chips there, how you can collaborate on an email, a draft email. And the one thing that I did not know, part of that functionality, is that you have the two, the CC, the BCC, the subject, the body, all of that within the Drive document, and clicking the mail icon on the top left of that actually takes all that content and puts it into your actual email client, and then it just allows you to send it out from there. Which, yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that was part of that functionality. I thought it was just providing.
Weren't you using it?
I've used it. That's what I'm saying. Like I would use it to draft the email, but I didn't know it had that capability to automate. I was copying and pasting all the fields. I didn't know that you just click on the mail icon and then boom, it opens up your Gmail client and takes all the information and puts it over there.
It's awesome.
Yes. So that was that one I really enjoy. That was useful, very useful to me. So in terms of rollout on this one, we will have rollout starting on rep release domains started yesterday, the 11th of October. That's on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility. And then for scheduled release domains, you'll need to wait a little bit longer, 25th of October, and that will also be on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for feature visibility. This one's available to everyone, as well as the legacy G Suite basic and business customers, and available to those with personal Google accounts. Okay, and then next on the Smart Chip front is that you can preview and interact with files using Smart Chips in Google Sheets. So, preview and interact with files. That's the same one. I have it up there twice. Look at that.
Yeah, expand Smart Chips.
My tabs are all over the place. Yes. Oh, sorry about that, folks. All right. Yes, expanding Smart Chips to include events in Google Sheets. It's like that. The title sounded very familiar there. So in expanding these, and in addition to that Smart Chip announcement there, this is going to make it a little bit easier to quickly insert calendar events into Sheets, for example. And this, again, the Smart Canvas feature is going to extend and allow you to search for events from calendar or copy calendar links and place them directly into Sheets. And you'll see that event name and an actionable hover card in the cell for it as that completes and populates.
This really still continues to feel like they're just trying to shoehorn a project management app into the way that a lot of people have always done it before with project management apps. Was with Sheets. Why do I need to put a calendar event in a sheet? I've never done that. I have never wanted to do that. Have you?
No. No. I've never. I put a date in a spreadsheet.
A date, maybe,
Yeah, but not a calendar event. No, I don't.
No, a specific calendar event. If it's a due date, like, I don't know. I guess if you're trying to put all the data for something in one place, and you want to be able to link directly to those, you could. But it feels again like trying to shoehorn task management or project management.
I'm sure
or not shoehorn because it's been done that way for 30, 40 years. Yeah. But now we have project management tools, and I don't know, tasks.
Yeah.
Just integrate that into tasks and give us an actual project management tool, or buy ClickUp or something. Like
I feel like some big team at Google was putting calendar events in their sheets, and they're like, "Hey, this could be better." And they're like, "Oh, well, we could integrate that into Chips."
Let us know if you use this, folks, or if you're curious or interested in using this, or if you do all of your planning in spreadsheets. Let us know in the comments or on Twitter. Yeah. I'm curious if this is actually going to be used by anybody, or if it'll just be one of those features that'll, disappear off into the sunset.
Right. Well, if you are looking forward to this feature, then you can start testing it out if you're on rep release domains, and that starts the 11th, started yesterday there on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility. Scheduled release domains, similar as the last one, also starting the 25th. And also a gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility there, and available to everybody. Next, that Jamboard announcement that I was talking about, that we're using that a lot more in our organization. So you can join or start a meeting directly from Jamboard on the web to kickstart collaboration. So expanding interoperability here with Meet and Jamboard gives you that option to join or start a meeting directly from Jamboard on the web, and just makes it easier to seamlessly present your jam and start collaborating, you know. So this is the feature available on the web, and it is just making things a little bit easier to get going and get started. This one is on by default for those admins, and not much happening there on the end user side, other than it will be visible to do this now. And then rollout for this, rapid release domains are going to see this starting next, actually the week after next week. Yeah, next week, the 20th of October, on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility. And then scheduled release domains will see this starting on Halloween, and also on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility, available to all customers as well as G Suite and Basic, G Suite Business and Basic customers. There we go. And then last but not least, in the updates this week, or thus far this week, we have data loss prevention for Google Chat is now generally available. So for those of you looking to capture things going in and out of chat and make some decisions on those, this is going to allow you to do just that. It evaluates the information as it's coming in, as it's kind of going through that chat system, and prevents users from sharing information that they shouldn't be sharing, for example. So you can start to configure that. I think it works pretty well. Again, been using and testing this for a little while now, and relatively pretty successful. You know, had some pictures with credit cards in it, bank information. It got blocked. We did not have the ability to upload that and share that in chat. So this one, yeah, this is a good one here for security. And in terms of rollout for this, this is going to be starting on the 11th of October for both rapid release and scheduled release domains, and on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility. Very limited in terms of who is going to get access to this, so be careful, or just listen up closely here. It is only available to Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Standard, and Education Plus customers. So DLP for chat is also available, though, to Cloud Premium users who are also licensed for Workspace editions that include chat and audit and investigation. So just there's a little bit of combination going on there. It is not available to Workspace Essentials, Business Starter, Business Standard, Enterprise Plus, Enterprise Essentials, Frontline Nonprofits, as well as Legacy G Suite Basic and Business customers. Now, interesting that if it's not available to Enterprise Standard, they're not mentioning it here, but they're mentioning Enterprise Standard other places. Right?
Gonna have to do some.
Or Starter, Enterprise Starter, right?
Starter.
Yeah, Starter. So I don't know where this Starter falls in, because it's not being referenced on all the updates. It's a little bit unusual. So yes.
That was also the shortest beta ever. They announced the beta in July, and now it's GA. The DLP for chat, that is.
So I get a little bit of an update here. It looks like Enterprise Starter is available in emerging markets at the moment only. Or that was as of April this year.
Emerging markets, such as
Yep.
India?
Basically anyone other than Europe and North America, probably, I'd imagine. There's a list. Yeah, Google's got a list somewhere.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
They love their lists.
It's got a spreadsheet.
With calendar events on it, apparently.
Apparently so. Yes. Yep. You got to get gum out. I can't get gum out. It's like stuck on here.
Oh no,
Ugh,
no,
I know.
ew,
My favorite.
gross. Yeah, you wear that all the time.
I know. Yeah.
Anybody have recommendations for getting gum out of a sweater jacket? North Face.
I know.
Let
There's
Steve
like
know in the
ice
comments.
trick, I guess, but I don't know how that works. It's been on there for so long now. I'm worried. I'm worried it's gonna be
It's
permanent.
just a permanent part of the jacket now. That's
Yeah,
it.
It's still sticky.
Ew.
Yes. And then, do you want to talk about the big news with the U.S. Army there?
Yeah, this is a good one. So I believe that, or not, I believe I saw that this has been underway for a long time when Javier Soltero actually tweeted about it, saying huge congrats to the team. And, the getting certification to be able to do this is just, as you can imagine, ridiculous and very necessary to be able to have that level of security, and really continues to show the levels and lengths that Google is willing to go in order to get and prove their abilities in the security space and continue building that out. And so they're announcing, or have announced, their first big partnership following the launch of their new subsidiary, Google Public Sector. And they're going to be providing up to 250,000 personnel of the U.S. Army workforce with Google Workspace.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people, and as we continue to see more and more companies, and they were talking about in the next keynote that the overwhelming majority of unicorns today are all using Google Workspace. You're going to have more and more people demanding it throughout, and the government was asking for more choice available in terms of cloud providers, and Google has stepped up in a big way here, and essentially they worked with Accenture. You were asking about that before, Steve. It was working with Accenture Federal Services under the Army Cloud Management Optimization contract, and they implemented it through SADA.
Aha.
There you go.
See? I knew there was something
Yep.
there with
Yep.
Accenture.
SADA will also oversee the change management and training of 250,000 users and ongoing managed services for the Army's workspace environment. So I imagine that SADA will be hiring a bunch of people with clearance in the foreseeable future.
Well,
I
already saw a lot of job listings from them months ago about that. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So if you've got clearance and you're interested in managing Google Workspace, give SADA a call.
Yeah.
But this is just the tip of the iceberg, very beginning. Google Public Sector is a new initiative from Google, and they're going to continue to expand this beyond just the U.S. Army, but also other public sector agencies. And they recently announced a partnership with Aclima. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but apparently they are providing New York State with hyper-local air quality monitoring, as well as an alliance with Arizona State University to deliver an immersive online K-12 learning technology to students in the United States and around the world. So actually, I'm curious about that. So I want to read more on that.
It's probably Clima, right? Aclima?
Aclima. Yeah, that makes sense if it's air quality. Climate.
Yeah.
Fair point. So just another major sector for Google to be moving into as they continue expanding to more and more businesses and areas and organizations throughout the globe. And that's, I believe that's it. We got to go back and finish watching the Google Next the Google Next videos.
Yes.
It's all on demand, so if you want to see what they're talking about on stage or see some demos, go and check that out. It is free. And as Steve was saying before, they've also got their summit on sustainability, so that information is out there as well if you're interested in checking those out. And what's the link for Google Next? Obviously, we've had it in the show notes for months, but off the top of my head, I don't actually know it.
Cloud with Google /next. So cloud.google.com/next.
Yep. And you can basically just log in there and scroll through everything that's available there, and you can narrow it down into playlists. I like to look at all of the collaborative stuff because that's the workspace stuff, basically. But there's usually some other interesting peripheral stuff like security keys and Android stuff and Chromebook stuff and whatnot. So we will be combing through all of that and come back to you in a couple of days on Friday with the rest of the Google Next news. So drop your questions and comments in the comments below if you're over on YouTube, and if you're in the podcast world, then hit us up on Twitter, and we will see you, I guess, in a couple of days. Couple days, and the next, the part two of the next edition of Workspace Recap. Shut up, Steve. Have a great couple of days, and yeah, enjoy. Bye.